Hi there, listeners.
Today we're brought to you by Yokkao, the world's most prolific Muay Thai brand.
That's right. We're so excited to be teamed up with Yokkao to bring you the best Muay Thai gear.
Honestly, mate, as a coach, it took me a long time to find pads that don't wear down after a few months, but my Yokkaos are staying strong.
It's the worst when you get kicked in the forearms with bad pads.
Yeah, it is the worst, especially when you have to do it every day.
If there's one thing you should never compromise on with martial arts, it's the gear that keeps you safe.
100%, mate. And Yokkao has the absolute best quality of training gear, gloves, shorts, and clothes as well.
Not only that, it's the best value for the quality of the equipment too.
Also, Yokkao are offering you 10% off any purchase by using code CombatCasuals10 at the checkout.
That's Combat Casuals 10 with no spaces.
Get yourself some top quality Muay Thai gear and save some cash. Hello and welcome to the Combat Casuals podcast.
If you're a fan of mixed martial arts and all things related, stick around.
We'll be talking everything from past and future events
to harnessing your inner chi and everything in between.
We want to provide you with the opportunity to get involved in the ultimate fighting conversation.
We've been friends for too long now,
and we always have strange conversations.
So we thought, hey, why not make a podcast?
I'm Dustin.
I'm Ian.
And we're the Combat Casuals. Cool.
Yeah, vegan chicken and vegetable pies for dinner.
Yes.
And something I find funny about, because obviously we were vegan for 4 months, and now we're not. But we still try to have a lot of plant-based meals. We're still trying to cut down on our meat. But it's funny how obviously previously people's obsession was with processed foods and not eating processed foods, and now it's vegan food, especially in terms of the fake meat replacements, it's probably the most overly processed.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it?
And I have no idea what I'm eating. When I get this fake chicken, mate, I couldn't guess. I have no idea.
It's funny that because you, as you say, it's processed food, you don't want it. But now that I haven't even thought about that, but you see all those I see them in co-op all the time. The Quorn, that's it, the Quorn ones. They must be seriously processed. I know it's all healthy stuff, I guess. I don't know. I've never really thought about it until now.
Well, this is the thing. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying that I don't think anyone fucking knows, and they're just eating it anyway. They just don't.
I try. I've been trying to do that too, because obviously I've gone back to the gym now, so I'm training at the gym twice a week. I'm doing upper body and then lower body just twice a week, and then I'm doing kettlebells at home just due to time and stuff.
You love kettlebells.
I love my kettlebells, man. I love my kettlebells, and I'm going back to jiu-jitsu tomorrow as well, so it's exciting.
Nice.
First time back. First one back over a year, man. It's honestly, I can't wait.
You're gonna be rusty.
I'm gonna be so rusty. I'm gonna be shit.
Everyone will be rusty, man. Everyone will be rusty. So long as you're not rustier than other people, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but I try now in terms of diet. Probably like yourself, I try and I do eat meat, and I probably eat meat. To be fair, probably still quite a bit, but less than I used to. I was having meat almost every meal, barring breakfast. But now, for lunch, I make a lot of vegan food. Specifically, there's a Jamaican food called Ital food, which is it's basically vegan food, but it's all Jamaican recipes and stuff like that. And it's really nice. There's a guy on Instagram that I bought his cookbooks for, which, to be fair, if you're interested, I'll send them to you.
Yes, please.
Although if he not
you
that
know
he
me and my
to
vegan Jamaican food, can't get enough.
Yeah, that's all you talk about off air. You're like, that vegan Jamaican food, that's all I eat.
That's it, man. It's a popular cuisine, man. You can't turn a corner in York City without coming across a vegan Jamaican cuisine.
It's, if anything, it's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. There's been complaints about it. We need some more diversity. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good, and it's because, unlike talking about process with ITIL food, I find that everything that's going into the dish, everything. It's nice. And it's not processed you need to go out and buy some fake chicken or something like that. It's obviously a lot of pulses and things beans and chickpeas and lentils and things like that. So if you don't like that stuff, then probably don't eat this. But it's really good though.
It makes me think of do you know the comedian Dylan Moran?
No.
Irish geezer. Have you seen like Run Fat Boy Run? And like he did
yeah,
a few Simon Pegg movies.
yes.
The Irish geezer.
Yeah,
so
the Irish.
he does a little bit on like local cuisine, and he's like,
Mhm.
whenever you go to somewhere and they offer you the local like thing, like don't eat it. He said because it's always shit. He said, you know the reason it's only local? It's because it's shit. It's like, and to be fair, like that makes sense. There's logic behind that. I understand. Like if it was really that good, like surely they'd have it everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I get that. Like champagne. Like I don't like champagne, but like champagne is from this specific part of France called Champagne, and it's really good, so you can get it everywhere now. Like, do you know what I mean? So if it's shit, that's why only the locals eat it.
Only the locals eat that.
So I mean, I've never heard of this vegan Jamaican. Yeah, send it to me, man. I'll
honestly,
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And
what I will say is like it's not one of those situations. It's like obviously Jamaican food is far more popular in London than say up in Yorkshire because there's more Jamaican communities in London. So you're going to find more food. Obviously my partner's also Jamaican, so like I've been introduced to a lot of like Jamaican food. So I think you're just going to find it more than that. Well, I do say it's good because
you have to.
I'm being watched. No, I'm joking. No, I like it a lot. In fact, I think I brought it more. I think I've cooked it more than
as you're borrowing her laptop to record the episode.
Yeah, like, I'm using.
Your food is shit.
Yeah, I'm using.
Get out of my house.
Yeah, it's great.
No, right, brilliant.
I'll send you it. Honestly, you'd really like it. One of my favorite things to make is like a curry, but obviously it's not like a Indian curry. It's far more like fragrant than it is like spicy, and like it has far more like seasoning. Yeah, it has a bit more. Yeah, it has like more seasonings in, and like it has like
more seasonings than Indian food.
Well, different seasonings.
Right. I was about to say, like, I'm pretty sure a very large part of Indian food all comes down to the seasonings.
It's true. No, I mean different seasonings. So
Right,
like
gotcha.
Caribbean curry seasonings, very different to Indian or Pakistan sort of like seasoning. It's very different, and it has a very different flavor.
Some stuff, man.
Yeah. I'll send you the actual curry in the post. I'll post you the literal.
Just in a bag.
Just not even like
thumb a wet bag of curry from a letterbox.
Not even a wet bag, just like a post bag.
Thumbing it through the letterbox.
The postman's just shoving it through in your post box covered in curry.
Why is that so funny?
Kidney beans on your floor, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's just in a like carrier bag with the handles tied up.
So
that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
He'll get the spirit of it.
Yeah, as long as he can taste the flavors, it's good. It's all fine.
No, you know what you need to do? You need to do some like, you know, them websites like HelloFresh where they send you all the ingredients and then I make it myself. That's what you need to do, man.
That's actually a good idea. I'll do that.
Bags of spices.
I actually did HelloFresh and Gusto for a bit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. I think HelloFresh was all right, actually. I think I did it when they had the discount, so it was like 50% off, and then 30%, and then 30%, and then 30%. And I won't lie, like if I was paying full price, which I never did, I wouldn't be happy with it because you could go out and get all this stuff. But for the convenience of it being 50% off and then 30% off for 3 weeks, it was pretty good. Yeah. Like HelloFresh was like quite a lot, and you had like 4 or 5 meals in there as well. So HelloFresh was really good. Gusto, I would say they were like trying to be a bit more higher class, like, or Gusto, however you say it, was a bit more fancy. But their actual quality was a bit shit. Like I got quite a few times chicken that had actually gone bad.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, they
actually just spice it up.
Yeah,
all the spices.
just put all those spices on there. But yeah, no, I did prefer HelloFresh. Gusto had some really good recipes that I've made myself by buying ingredients myself. Okay. But the ingredients they actually sent me were not very good. So their recipes are good, but the actual quality of ingredients not so good.
Good to know.
Yeah. But I would recommend HelloFresh to people. I think it was pretty good, and the quality was quite good too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah. I'll post you some of them as well. I'll cook them and just post it to you.
We're not sponsored by HelloFresh, by the way.
No. I know they sometimes do. So if HelloFresh are listening to this, or anybody who knows how to do it,
give us free stuff.
Yeah, please give us free stuff. Or anybody, just anybody at all, just give us free stuff.
Someone endorse us, please.
Yeah, we need it.
We have Yokow. We're happy.
Yeah. Actually,
awesome.
Don't sponsor us. We got Yokow. There we go.
Well, more sponsors, please. Don't
a balance. Yeah, we need both.
Oh, I had one message us, Ian.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was for like a manscaping company. You know, like with the
damn, really,
and all stuff like that. Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if it's like on top. I kind of feel like I get frustrated when you listen to podcasts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it'll be about dinosaurs, and then they'll have an advert for like, I don't know, solar panels, and you're like, well, what's that got to do with anything?
What's that got to do?
There's
quite a few people who've got like, so I know MMA on Point have Manscaped. If it is Manscaped,
it's not that. It was a similar one. It was like a small, very small company that were doing it. And I was like,
I tell you what, I need a new pair of clippers. So if they want to send me that,
we'll see if we can get some clippers out of them. I'll message them back and just be like, "Will send us just one
singular
clippers,
and we'll review them."
Yeah, and then we'll send them back.
With a curry.
You'll use them and send them back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
You know what you should do before your first session back at jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
You should just have a good solid roll with like Simone. Just treat her like a journeyman to get your confidence back up.
I already do that. Like me and Simone will be in the kitchen and I'll just grab like her arm or her leg and she'll be like, "Stop trying to take me down. I'm trying to cook." And I'll be like, "It's fine. I just need to practice."
I do that to Lily all the time.
Yeah.
Hip tossing it. Well, whatever I'm like working on at the time. I am. That's my go-to one is hip toss. I'll just like because you can do it from a hug so easily. Just go to over under. And then,
just throw her through the air.
Hip toss, yeah. I don't actually throw her to the ground. I just
neither do I. I always like. Bit. To be fair to Simone, she actually fights back most of the time and tries to stop it. So yeah, no, she does all right. But yeah, no, I've been doing that the whole time. In fact, it happened today. She was like, "You're going back to class now. You can stop doing this."
I imagine it as like on Scrubs when Turk's arm wrestling Carla.
Yeah,
just like, you see what you get. I can just imagine you not going easy on her at all. Just being like, you see what you get when you mess with the warrior.
When you mess with the warriors. It's exactly like that.
Man.
Oh man!
So it's been like 10 minutes. Should we talk about this event?
Well, yeah. And also, what I've realised is we didn't, because last week obviously we were talking about Ramadan. We didn't actually talk about Bellator either. We didn't talk about Bellator at all. So I feel like obviously talking about UFC, it's more relevant right now. So we'll jump straight into that one. But I think afterwards, let's have a chat about.
And then also this weekend was like a pretty decent card on One. I don't know if you watched that.
No. In fact, I saw results for that one, and there's a fighter on that card that I actually quite like. So yeah, I was aware of that one. One's times for their fights are actually way better than UFC's.
Way better.
You can watch that without feeling like shit.
Yeah, it's just like in the middle of the day.
Yeah, so much better. Good. Yeah, so much better.
I'd recommend to anyone listening, One Championship, download the app. It's all free. Like immediately after the event, they post it all on the app. You can watch you can watch the whole event back. Yeah. Like they've got a really cool system where anytime, like they'll show you the fight card. Mm-hmm. And you can follow the fighters, so like it'll give you notifications when the fighters you follow are fighting and things like that. It's a really cool app, actually. I like the way they've put it together. I think
quality of fighters there are good. Yeah, no, I hate the UFC one. I think the UFC one's crap. Like it's so bad.
Also, it's like, buy UFC Fight Pass, and you're like, okay, now I can watch the fights. And they're like, well, yes, but actually, no.
Yeah, actually, you have to pay for the pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, well, hang about that's
it's like I know it's really irrelevant. But it's similar. Like it's when Disney tried to get people to pay for their films on their after paying for Disney Plus, and people were like, "This is utter bullshit."
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. It's outrageous. So like Mulan came out, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to pay like £30 on top of your subscription to watch this." And it was like, that's outraoutrageous to do that.
What a load of nonsense.
I know.
We've immediately drifted off topic again. We were like, should we talk about this event? We were like, yes, but first,
But first, let's talk about
Right, Let's get down to business.
Actually, no, we'll be sued. Yeah, let's not sing that. Right, okay.
I was just saying, let's get down to business. Let's talk about this event.
Yeah, let's do it. UFC 262. What a
It
card.
was awesome, man.
What a
Wow.
card. What
Crazy.
a card.
Should we go backwards or should we start with the main event?
Let's go with main event. I think it's the big one. There's a lot to talk about there. There's a lot of other fights. I think there's it's up to you actually. I've just said that, but what do you want to do?
Let's do it. No, let's do it, man. You're the boss. You do it. That's fine.
So,
dude, first of all, I hope there's a rematch. I mean, I know they're saying, the winner of Poirier, McGregor, whatever. I hope at some point there's a rematch because that could have easily been stopped. When Oliveira was down on his hands and knees and Chandler was throwing shots, some referees might have stopped it then and there. And we might be looking at Michael Chandler as the new champion. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it should have been stopped there. I'm saying some refs could have easily stopped it.
Yeah.
Wow,
100%.
dude. I mean, I agree with the stoppage where it was. But it could very easily have been left to go just a little bit longer. Maybe Chandler would have gotten up. Maybe it got stopped with Oliveira. I'm just saying that fight goes either way, and I'd love to see it again.
There's no controversy in the stoppages, but it's that they are so evenly matched that could have gone either way. And I think it comes down to the fact, and I knew this fight was going to be fireworks, because I messaged you, we were talking about it the day before. They both love taking the center of the octagon. They both love doing it. And it's so interesting that we saw in the first round what Michael Chandler's pressure did to Charles Oliveira. Yeah. He was pressuring him and he was using his, for lack of a better word, his almost savage swings. And it was pressuring him back and he hit him hard. Second round, we immediately saw Oliveira taking the center, pressuring him. And that's what happens when Oliveira takes the center and pressures. It's mad. It was almost precision versus power. And Oliveira, not saying that Oliveira doesn't have power, but
or that Chandler doesn't have precision.
Exactly. It's just Oliveira is just so much more precise. He's the way he hit him was so on point. It was just so accurate.
What Chandler does is very clever, but it's quite one dimensional. We were actually when I was teaching my Muay Thai class today, we were doing Chandler's stepping overhand left.
Yes, he's very good at it.
The way he does it is quite clever, and it benefits shorter fighters, and he's often the shorter, more muscular fighter.
Yeah.
How he throws a short right, which will often be to the body, to kind of drop the guard, but he won't send it too long to kind of get the opponent to miscalculate his range, and then he'll step into southpaw. He'll take a big step with the right foot to throw the big left hand over the top, and he'll aim a foot behind the opponent's head. So even as the opponent's trying to step back out of range, they step right into the shot. It's really clever. That's what he dropped Dan Hooker with. And that's what he caught Oliveira with. Do you know what I mean? It's a really good shot, and it's very hard to read. But I feel like it's one people will be able to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, and I think, Oliveira was very smart in using his front knee as almost like a range and defensive tool. He was constantly rising it
he loves the deep and the lead on there. Yeah, he's very good at that.
And it was very good, and you could tell Chandler had to adjust a bit, but he adjusted well to the point where he did drop him real hard. I don't want to say this is an excuse for Chandler, because Chandler he's proven he's the real deal. If there's anything from this fight that we've learned about Michael Chandler, is not that he didn't deserve the title shot, is that he totally did deserve a title shot, because he almost knocked him out. But what I think, it's not that I'm going, I noticed something, and I've seen other people online notice it that the commentators didn't. In that second round, Chandler came out very square on his feet. And he was he wasn't bouncing around like he immediately came out in the first doing. And I'm not saying he was gassed, fully gassed, but he certainly looked a little bit slower. I know it's only 13 odd seconds, but he didn't come out with the same energy he did in the first round. Hence why Oliveira was able to take that center of the octagon really quickly.
Well, it's a risk, isn't it? There's a lot. We see a lot of fighters who come out really strong in the first, hoping to put people away. And look, it worked with Dan Hooker. Do you know what I mean?
It did.
Some people will criticize it and say, that's why you don't do that, blah blah blah. And it's well, no, it's just a calculated risk. If you're more physical than someone else, if you're stronger than someone else, then no, that works. Francis Ngannou, it didn't work against Stipe the first time around, but it worked against pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, it totally did.
You can't really argue with the formula if it works.
Yeah, and he not only and the fact is, it did kind of work because he almost finished him. It did kind of
exactly.
work.
It did kind of work. Well, he definitely won that first round. And when he got Oliveira off his back, I was like, wow. Like, getting Oliveira off your back, I was like, wow. Like, that's a massive, massive... Because I was like, at the time, I was like, well, what's that going to do for Oliveira's confidence? Like, right, I've got him where I want him, and he's gone. Like,
well, that's the thing that we've seen. I mean, it's for just such a short fight, we've learned so much about both of them. Because like Chandler is the real deal. Like, no matter what people say, he's fucking amazing and deserves to be in there. And I totally can see him getting another title shot not too far away. I'd love to see him versus Justin Gaethje now.
I was about to say, I think that's the realistic fight next. It's him and Gaethje and Oliveira versus the winner of Poirier McGregor.
Yeah,
so Oliveira versus Poirier.
Yeah. And I think him getting, as you say, him getting out that back control shows that he's like phenomenal level. Because I thought when he gave his back, I was like, that's it then, isn't it? Like that's done. Because
you assume so with Oliveira on the back, and when they're dry as well. When they're dry,
exactly. But
get that.
What we also learned about Oliveira is for a guy, and honestly, I'm not saying I actually thought Chandler was going to win this. I said to you, but I wanted Oliveira to win it because I do really like Charles Oliveira. His story's great.
I love Oliveira as well. He's paid his dues. He's paid his dues.
He earned it. But what we've seen through him not being discouraged from losing the back control is a change in psychology. Because for a long time, when he was on the back foot in fights, he'd give up. And he looked like he'd given up psychologically. Like he looked like, oh, God, I'm behind on the scorecards. I'm losing this fight. Whereas I think he came out into that second round like, I lost the first, but that's fine. Like I know what I can do. You know,
he did,
yeah. He looked amazing, and I think his fight streak so far, like it's crazy how good he's looked. And I think he's kind of gone under the radar a little bit because obviously the division is a stacked one. The lightweight division is probably the best in the world. And for him to amass not just a streak like he has, but the manner in which he's done it, the most submissions in UFC history, most win bonuses in UFC history, like the guy is amazing. Like he's amazing.
Do you think we'll see him at the top for a while, or do you think Poirier could beat him? Or?
I don't know. I think
it's just an amazing fight. I just can't wait to see it. It's another one like Oliveira Chandler where it's just too close to call, and I think Poirier Oliveira is also too close to call. I think that's just impossible. I'd like to say, they say you're only as good as your last fight. So let's see Poirier McGregor. We'll see what he looks like in that fight. And we'll have a better understanding of it.
It's crazy, isn't it? When you think of that top 5 division, it's probably the best. Like the lightweight division,
it's the most exciting division in the UFC right now.
And I think it may be. I mean, this is a big statement and comment, but like I think it may be the best it's ever been. Like the lightweight division is one of the best. But it's the best it's ever been.
Well, because we've had some long reigning champions, like Edgar, was a good champion. Penn was a great champion. And it's got to obviously Khabib, and now it's got to a point where it's just wide open with so much talent. I kind of like, obviously, the reason they made the Oliveira Chandler fight, like we said in the first place, was because neither of them have lost to Khabib, so it doesn't feel hollow.
No.
So I love Dustin Poirier, and I think out of all of them, he's probably my favourite character.
Yeah, I love Poirier.
He's probably my favourite character in the top 5, top 10 at lightweight, and I'd love to see him as champion. But it's nice to see Oliveira or Chandler as champion. Yeah. Because otherwise, it would feel hollow. If Poirier won, we'd be like, well, he's not as good as Khabib, and we know that.
People were saying before this it should have been Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje again because they had both recently fought Khabib, both interim champions. But the fact is they lost. So if they'd won,
so it doesn't matter who won. We knew they weren't the real champion. It was still Khabib. Whereas at least, even though I think Khabib would beat both Oliveira and Chandler,
I think he would. Yeah, I think he would.
But we don't know that, and there's always the argument of, but maybe not. He does that. Yeah. And it's having that, maybe not, that keeps the game alive, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It is. I mean, Oliveira, for me, because I'm so happy he did win, obviously, with somebody who is a bit more, I do love BJJ, and I love seeing it in the octagon. And I do think in terms of somebody who to challenge Khabib, I still think Khabib would win, but we've always talked about, and I think that leads probably to the next fight on the card, but we've always talked about what Khabib would be like against a legitimate BJJ specialist, somebody who's really lethal. Yeah. And I think there's nobody better in arguably the UFC than Charles Oliveira, the most submissions in UFC history. He's ridiculous. He is unbelievable on the floor. And I still think Khabib would win. Like, don't get me wrong.
I
But
do, but there's always that risk, isn't there?
there is always that risk. The only time we've really seen him in trouble, like people go, "Oh, McGregor took one round," or "Oh, Michael Johnson hit him on the chin." But the only time we've actually seen him, and it is still very rare, is when Poirier got him in that guillotine. That's the only time.
But he didn't though. Come on, man. That wasn't close.
No, it wasn't. But he did. I think somebody who's better at jiu-jitsu could maybe get that.
Maybe, but like that's as a wrestler, like that is a standard. You know, you go in for the legs. Of course, you're going to give them your neck, but it doesn't matter because you pass them knees.
Yes,
you're in
yeah, definitely.
You don't even need to fight the hands until you've got. I tell my students this all the time. Like whenever someone goes for, you know, like an anaconda or a guillotine or something, they always go 2 hands against one immediately. They don't think about the guard. They don't think about the legs. And I'm like, once them legs around you, that's it, mate. You're cooked 9 times out of 10. If someone goes for your neck, go for the knees. Put their knees together. Get into side mount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I just
Khabib
think,
knows what he's doing, and he knows.
Of course he does.
Sometimes you've got to give up the neck.
Of course he does. I just think to myself, with somebody who's better at jiu-jitsu, because not to say
Poirier is sharper, a bit quicker with the darts,
exactly,
or
Charles. Charles is so quick, and you're right. Like that wasn't close, but that's what I mean. That's the only thing we can really look at. We have to look at these tiny fractions.
But this is the thing. It's interesting you should say that, because even though he just lost, I still think. Again, I'm not saying he'd win. I just think that Chandler is Khabib's biggest threat at lightweight.
Yeah, he's really good.
Because he's not the best striker in the division, but Khabib certainly isn't the best. But Chandler is a hard man to take down and keep down. And I think if anyone's going to not get taken down by Khabib, or at the very least, like, it's not always about Khabib's takedown. It's about the fear of the takedown. People are so afraid of getting taken down by him. But I don't think Chandler would be that afraid of getting taken down.
No,
Chandler has the same pressure that Khabib has. He just comes out and he gets in your face. And I think he would have been the best challenge.
And I also think he hits the hardest in that division. He hits
maybe.
Like a truck, man.
He does. He does hit hard.
He hits so hard, and you think it's all about pressure, and that's what we saw in this fight. It's all about who can take that octagon the quickest and who can be there and really put their force on the other person.
Yeah.
And we saw, as I said at the start, Chandler did that in the first round, and he could have won that round, and he could have won the fight. He could have finished it. Yeah. But then we saw Oliveira doing it. Is there anybody who does it better than Khabib?
And it was so quick, man. It was
so quick.
The second round. It was mad. He caught Chandler off guard, I think, didn't he? Chandler was cruising. He was like, I'm winning this. Nope.
Exactly. And I think he also was like, I can maybe take a little bit of the pressure off because I tired a little bit in the first round. Maybe he was trying to finish him too much.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's okay. I'll be more efficient here. I'll take a bit of the pressure off, which is it's not, he didn't do anything wrong. That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But if you as you say, if you cruise like that, you're going to get clipped. And with somebody who's so precise as Oliveira, man, what a great fight. Honestly, I want to see it again. I want to see it again.
I like the two reactions. I like to compare, obviously, Poirier, 100% class. Like, congrats, Charles. You earned it the hard way. Keep your head up, Mike. Do you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Good days and bad days. Proper class. And then McGregor was like, who's number 12 going to be? Oh,
not you.
Fuck off,
not
man.
you.
Not you. How about you fight Dustin Poirier first?
Yeah. I think Oliveira beat him anyway. I really do.
I think they both would, mate. So we won't dwell on that. Were you sad to see Tony just get just dominated, just held down, and just I
don't want to be. It's not that. So he's kind of got this fandom that's kind of grown since he started losing, I think, Tony, because like I remember him on his crazy win streak, and I don't think he had this much. Like in that arena, people were like booing that Dariush had won, and like, you know, and people were going screaming for Tony. I never really remembered that in his fights that he was winning. Personally, I'm not saying that I dislike Tony Ferguson, but I don't really like him. Like
I'm not a big Tony fan.
Like even in the bloody build up to the fight, they had like him talking about the fact that he like broke one of his pupils' ribs. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Like that's not cool. Like what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, and people were like, oh, he's such a weird character. To me, he just comes across as a bit of a knob. Like I'm
not keen. I love watching him fight. He's an exciting fighter, but I'm not a big fan of his character.
He used to be an exciting fighter. I think what we've seen.
Oh come on, man! Like
hear me out.
When he loses, it's a good fight. Like I mean, it's still good to see.
hear me out. This fight, and this fight more than the Charles Oliveira one. I think he looked really bad in this fight.
He didn't look great.
He was running away, but by running away, I don't mean like he was running away. But Dariush was going for like strikes, he was like trying to move as fast as possible away from those strikes, which is fair. Like he's trying to use head movement. That is not the Tony Ferguson that we knew when he was crazy exciting, and it's made him fight differently, and it's made him look less exciting. Because
it's like he used to think he was invincible to some extent.
Yeah,
and then since he lost, he's like, oh, better not get hit.
Well,
before he didn't seem bothered about getting hit.
I think Gagey stole his soul, man. I think Gagey
he did, man. He crushed him.
Yeah.
I mean, the only real thing he had in that fight was at one point it was looking like he might be in on a Das.
Yeah.
But then not really. Like Darius was fine. And then, oh my God, that heel hook.
Oh my God,
Jesus,
mate.
What is it with Tony and just refusing to?
But that's gonna. He's 37.
What are his bones made of? Well, we had the armbar with Oliveira that he just didn't tap to, and his elbow was like backwards.
Yeah.
And then Dariush was deep on that heel hook, and he just refused to tap. Mate,
but it's not good for his career either. This isn't good for his career either. He's 37, and I think you're looking at the end of somebody's career. I know it sounds horrible, but like 3 losses, which people are going to be like, "What? He had such a crazy win streak."
Yeah.
3 losses where he's been devastatingly controlled. Like. He got fucked up by Gagey, he got fucked up by Charles Oliveira, and he just got fucked up by Dariush. I don't think there's much more he can bring to the table, if I'm honest. I really don't. I think he's...
brutal, but I agree.
Yeah, he takes injuries like that. So that looked like... The second he started the next round, his knee was fucked. He was completely...
He just couldn't move, man. He couldn't move.
Yeah. How long is that going to take to heal now? He's 37. That's going to take some time to heal. Like, I just tap, man. I know it sounds horrible because, like, it's a warrior spirit and all that, but...
You want to be able to fight next time. Yeah. Not, like, next year, in a few months.
Like, I think he's... I don't know, mate. I'm really happy for Dariush. Like, I think he looked amazing last night, and he really controlled him. He put so much pressure on him on the floor.
Yeah, he definitely looked good, mate.
Yeah. I mean, where do you go with Dariush? Which you think he gets, like... Well, he's top 5 now, in my opinion. So there's a weird thing with the lightweight division, isn't there? It's kind of that top 5 is so stacked. It's like, where do you go with people like Dariush?
Well, this is the thing, man. I feel like we can't have it both ways. Either Tony is still an impressive guy to beat, or he isn't. Like, if we're going to say, oh, that might be Tony done now, like he should retire, or he should do this, or he should do that, then you can't grant too much. You can't put too much emphasis on this win for Dariush. It's like, well, then it's a washed-up Tony. Or you're going to say, oh, what a great win for Dariush, and then you've got to put some credit on Tony's name. So which is it?
Well, it's still Tony, isn't it? It's still Tony. It is still Tony Ferguson.
Well, okay. Well, then we can't say that Tony should retire or whatever.
No, because, I don't think he should retire. Yeah. I don't think he should. I actually think
you get what I mean.
I completely agree. You've made me rethink what I was saying. I think what I should say is that I think Tony probably is a top 10 lightweight, which is still like you're one of the best fighters in the world.
Oh, he's a gatekeeper, isn't he? He's a gatekeeper now.
Become that, which is real sad, isn't it? This guy who, after 12 fights in a row, that's usually somebody's title and defenses. Like 12 wins in a row.
Yeah.
But I think he's become a gatekeeper. I think that's it. And I actually think the next fight for him is that, what's his face? Is it Islam Makhachev?
Right, okay. Makhachev, yeah.
I think he should be maybe Tony's next fight.
He's coming, man. Here he comes.
I think that guy is going to be a champion. If I'm putting my name on somebody...
People are avoiding him.
They are high because he's Khabib, but with better striking. That's what he is. No. Like, he's really good.
Yeah. We'll see. We won't hype him too much. I don't like early hype trains.
No, it's true. We'll
see once he's fighting that, top some contenders, some top 10 guys. We'll see what happens. But he's looking very good.
Yeah, I was talking to my flatmate about this last night. People we hyped that got right and people we hyped that got wrong. And I think the one that I remember I got wrong was probably the biggest one is Johnny Walker. I got that completely wrong. I got that
Where is Johnny
wrong.
Walker, man?
Mate, I got that so wrong. I was so wrong.
I saw a really funny meme. I think it's quite a common meme template where like it's a photo of a pool and there's a kid, like there's a parent holding a kid. There's another kid struggling to swim. And it was like, Prohaska was at the was at the front, like, oh, Dana White was holding Yuri Prohaska, and then Dominic Reyes was like struggling to swim, and Johnny Walker was just like dead at the bottom of the pool. And it's like, it's so true, man. Like, everyone was like, oh, here comes Johnny Walker, and then he lost it. It's like, see you later, mate. And then it was like, oh, Reyes won that fight with Jones, and then he lost to Prohaska. They're like, see you, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, like, UFC fans are fickle, man.
They
are
fickle.
So, like, brutal.
Do you know who you got right, though? And I still tell people you were 100%
Cody
right.
Garbrandt.
Cody Garbrandt. You were 100% right on him. And you called it.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, he's going to be the champion, 100%.
You called it so early, man. It was like his first fight in the UFC.
It was his debut. And I said, he'll be the champion because nobody is that fast and no one moves like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he kind of lost his way. And the thing that's frustrating...
He's fighting soon, isn't he?
He is fighting. The next UFC event is Cody Garbrandt and Rob Font. That's going to be on the 23rd, so that's not too far away. So that'll be good to watch. So the thing with Cody Garbrandt, I don't know if it's a thing with stubbornness or his coaches or whatever. I haven't looked into it enough. But, like, he is phenomenal. When he fights smart, no one's as fast. He has amazing power for his size. His fight IQ is brilliant. But he just loves to brawl, and he gets in a brawl, and he's not very good at brawling. And he just gets knocked out. It's like, mate, like, look at what he did to Dominic Cruz.
Yes.
Fuck me, hell, man. Like, no one's ever done that to Dominic Cruz before. No, he made Dominic Cruz look like he'd never fought before.
Yeah, he did. He made him look like a right mug. He was just like picking him apart, and like, oh, it's brutal, man. It was brutal.
And when he fights like that, when he uses, skill and not just his brawling, I don't think there's anyone who can beat him.
No, I think you're right. I actually think you're right. Yeah. Francis Ngannou.
Ngannou will probably have a decent
he'd probably be able to do it. But no, I agree with you, man. I completely agree with you. You look at him versus Pedro Munoz was such a bizarre fight because he was like picking him apart. He did what he needed to do, but then he smelt blood and went for it, and he got knocked the fuck out. Instead of being like smart, tactical, which we've seen him be.
That's the thing, and it might be a stubbornness thing. I have no idea what it is, or arrogant stubbornness. I don't know.
It's perhaps it's like, I know he was on Joe Rogan's podcast recently and was talking about this, and I think you have probably hit the nail on the head in terms of this stubbornness. He was talking about this attitude that he would get, particularly in the TJ Dillashaw fights, because obviously that's his former teammate. But he seems like maybe he's turned a corner, and that's why this fight this weekend is going to be really interesting, because obviously great knockout off Rafael Sansao, and now he's coming again. I think he's been injured recently, so he's coming back off that. So this is going to be a really interesting one to see how his psychology is in this fight. But I think you're right. I think if he fights smart, like that fight we just saw with Aljamain Sterling and what's his face? Oh my god, I can't believe I've forgotten his name.
Sterling and Yan.
Yeah. I think he beats Yan. I think he does beat Yan, because in my opinion, I used to really like Sterling, but he's become a bit of a knob. But like Yan won that fight, barring his stupidity. Yeah. I think Cody Garbrandt, if he fights smart, beats both of those guys. I don't think there's anybody who comes near him in that division, And even TJ, I think he does beat TJ if he's smart. Fights smart.
Me too, 100%. Even roided TJ,
yeah.
So, so it's my opinion that here's my prediction. Like, it might not come true, and I hope it doesn't. Like, Cody Garbrandt's got amazing potential, and it'd be nice to see it come through. But my prediction is the Mike Tyson prediction that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And I think Cody Garbrandt is a brawler at heart. And I think that was just one special event we saw with Dominic Cruz, and I don't think we'll see it again. I think
really
he's a
sad.
brawler now. He'll get some knockouts. He'll get knocked out a few times, and I think he'll just wash through as one of the top 10 guys.
That'd be sad, though. It'd be sad.
Whatever, man. Everyone's got their ups and downs, and his down is his mentality, and I think that's going to be the way it goes.
Speaking of knockouts, though, not to skip over to decision fights, because they were decisions. I mean, impressive wins for them. But Edson Barboza's knockout.
That was mental.
Yeah, crazy.
I've seen a few edits of it, because obviously it was insane. Anyone who hasn't seen it, Barboza flipped Burgos with a big right hand, but then it took like
5 seconds.
3 to 5 seconds, something like that, for it to shut off. And people have obviously made the edits with like the Windows shutdown sound, the bing, 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 like that. And he just hits him, and then he stands there. You can tell he's trying to take it. He's like, collect yourself, and then he starts falling back.
Crazy,
awesome, dude. It was a great fight until that point as well.
Yeah. Yeah, really good for Barboza as well. Like, I think obviously people are going to be talking about Shane Burgos like taking that. I watched actually a doctor on YouTube, literally released it straight after, pretty much, to explain what happened. And it's really interesting. He talked about how like a concussion and that hitting is almost like what's the word he used? Almost like it's all these things are happening so quickly all at once. So your brain is moving, the fluid has started changing, and all of the electrons are like doing everything differently, and your brain has to process it. And he said for some people that happens immediately, for others it's delayed. And it's very rare. It's very rare, but that's all we saw there. But it really great, interesting. I'm sure you'll be able to find it on YouTube. But I think Shane Burgos has taken a lot of damage. Like he's watching his fights. He's only been knocked out twice, but for a guy, because it's crazy looking at those guys. For a minute, if I had only jumped into that fight without knowing what division it is, you'd assume they're lightweights, but they weren't. They were featherweights, and they're huge guys. They are huge.
Barboza's doing a heavy cut, isn't he, to get down to that weight? That's what they were saying, was they were
Shane
worried
Burgos,
about his
Shane Burgos, I think, cuts a lot of weight. That doesn't help with getting knocked out and concussions. And I think he's taken a lot of damage in his like fights, because for a guy who's quite rangy, he just allows it. Similar to sort of Tony Ferguson that we were talking about before. He kind of just walks into punches. He just kind of goes into him and is like, yeah, I can take it. I can take these. But I think we just saw, as you say, it's like he tried to take it and his brain just went, no, we can't.
Do you think there's some degree of like big man arrogance? Like, sometimes big fighters who cut down forget that on the day they're not actually that much bigger than the person they're stood in front of, and they just assume. Like maybe we saw that with Dillashaw Cejudo. Like he just assumed, he was like, "I'm bigger than you. You can't hurt me. Here I come." Oh, whoops.
I completely agree with you, man. And cutting weight not only is bad for your cardio, but it's really bad for getting knocked out. Like you dehydrate your brain, man. Like you get knocked out like that. It's brutal, absolutely brutal, man. And crazy. Great for Edson Barboza though, and I think that really for him like puts him in that top sort of 10 discussion at featherweight, because like a guy whose career at lightweight seemed a little bit like it wasn't going anywhere, gives him a fresh life. And as you say, he looked good, didn't he? He looked great.
Well, he's one of those as well who, win or lose, always has a great fight. So I don't think he's going to get cut for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Because he has to have a decent losing streak, because no one's expecting too much of him, and he's always got the potential to pull out something amazing. So
100%. Like that.
Exactly like that. He'll stick around.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't watch the Schnell Bontorin. I don't know. Because I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't watch it live. I woke up this morning and I watched them through. And I don't know either of them two. They're both new to me at bantamweight. I don't know those names, but I watched the Caitlin and Vivian fight.
It's a good one.
Dude, did you see the Phantom Tap?
Yeah, I did.
What was your opinion on that?
I think a lot of I don't want to be too judgy, but there is a lot of training, like the Chael Sonnens of the world. Like I like Chael Sonnen, but you have to admit there is a training of certain what's the word I'm looking for? Certain martial arts like wrestling and jiu-jitsu sometimes teach you to like do a fake tap to move the position, and we've seen it happen before in actual big title fights as well, where that's happened long ago. Like you can look them up. And it just facilitates people being able to do it. It looked like a tap to me.
It was a fucking tap, man.
It looked like a tap to me.
It was a tap.
It took a long way to get there, but I think it was a tap.
Of course it was a fucking tap. Like, anyone who trains jiu-jitsu, like, it couldn't be anything else. Like, even the commentators were like, oh, no, I think she was reaching for the other hand. Fuck off. No, she wasn't. Oh, mate, it really wound me up when they said that. And then obviously she went on to win by decision. And I was like, that's bullshit. Like, I felt really bad for Vivian. I was like, nah, that wound me up to watch that. But
I agree with you. And it doesn't sit right that they.
Did you see the Fabricio Verdum fight? Because
I did, and it got overturned, didn't it?
It got overturned, and I was really happy about that because he definitely did.
Oh God, yeah.
Definitely
I mean that one.
tapped.
I mean the tap in the PFL was more obvious. I think that, I think this one was obvious to me. I thought it was a tap, but that was 100% a tap. It was just the ref was on the wrong side. That's all that was.
It's just not hard, right? When you rewatch, when you see the video, like if your hand is open, like if you've got an open palm, and you bat your fingers on the person, it's a tap. There's no other purpose for doing that. You're not slapping them in the back. You know what I mean? Like you're not. Oh,
don't you know the great
up,
technique of slapping somebody on the back? That's like
what is it? Pink belly. They do it on Scrubs. Pink belly, where you just go smack them about.
Honestly,
yeah.
That guy's what a dickhead for doing that. Like you tapped, just admit you tapped. It's fine. Like I know it's a big deal. He wants to win the fight, but like you tapped. Like it's just move on. Like
obviously, I've never been in the situation, but I like to think in my head, in my heart, that I would much rather lose, honestly, than fucking cheat and win.
Well, because look now, people are going to look at them like one that got overturned, and even if it didn't, people are going to look at you and be like, "You're a dickhead."
You're a dickhead. Yeah, I'd rather have fans than like a win on my record.
Talking of taps as well, Jacare losing, man, fucking brutally. Like,
brutal.
Now he is somebody, unfortunately, similar to Tony Ferguson, but not as much for Tony. But I think Jacare at 41,
who could have been something, but
could have been something. I love Jacare as well. This is the only second time he's been submitted as well, and
I'm indifferent to Jacare.
Oh, I think I really like him. I think he was.
I mean, not to, obviously when you're in that, it's not jiu-jitsu, it's MMA, it's a fight. But like, it did seem like quite a glaring mistake he made by leaving that long arm in there.
I
don't know. But it's very hard to think when you're in that situation. But it was surprising to see a guy with grappling of Jacare's caliber to leave that long arm out there.
I also don't want to downplay Muniz, his success there, because he said going into this fight that he's the best grappler, the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in the middleweight division, and
must be true then.
And to be fair to him, I mean he did look really good. I don't know if he's the best, but he certainly looks dangerous on the floor. Like I would, if I was anybody in that top 10, I wouldn't want to go to the floor with him.
No, fair enough.
Exactly. So. I mean, it did look quite, as you say, like a clear mistake. But at the same time, perhaps Muniz just completely worked it perfectly, And also 41, if we are talking about people who maybe should consider retiring, maybe Jacare is in that.
I didn't realise he was as old as that.
Yeah. Let me just double check it. Maybe just making him older than he is. I'm just lying. No, he's... Actually, I don't know why I said no, but 41. Yeah, bang on. Yeah, nice. He's 41. Yeah, so I think maybe, he could obviously look at Bellator, which is something that a lot of fighters of that age do. But I think probably...
No, we don't want Bellator to be the just
UFC I don't either. Runoff. Yeah, I don't either. I want Bellator to be more legitimate, but maybe that's where he goes. Or he could just go do jiu-jitsu. Just do that. Just compete in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, man. There's I definitely say that the age factor is significantly less in jiu-jitsu than it is in MMA, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. But crazy card, man. Really great card. I massively enjoyed it. I mean, other fights on there, if people want to go watch them, like Lando Venata as well was like an awesome fight. That was a great fight with Mike Grundy. Like I enjoyed that one. I got that one wrong as well. Thought Grundy was going to win that. That's a great fight. That was really, really entertaining. Back and forth. Some people said it was a bit of a bad judge's decision, but I thought it was a great fight personally. But what do you think of it all then, mate? I mean, I was meant to ask what your opinion is on Tony Ferguson. Like, what do you think he stands as now in that division? Because I said my piece. I think he's like, we're looking at the tail end of somebody's careir. But what do you think
he's just a gatekeeper now, man. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's tricky to label people. Do you know what I mean? Like, just keep him on the rankings, give him a fight. Some fighters like to make a second run of things, and sometimes they do well, and quite often they don't. Like, so I don't know. Just keep him on the roster, and whoever's next. Do you know what I mean? If he's a geezer who just likes fighting, which it seems like he does, let's go. What I wouldn't like to happen is obviously another event that we didn't talk about because our last episode was the Ramadan episode, was Donald Cerrone's last fight with Morono. Yeah. That was very sad to see.
That was really sad.
I don't think I've ever seen him look so slow. I was like, that didn't look like Cerrone at all. No. He wasn't moving. His head was on the centre line the whole fight. He was just standing there eating straight shots, and I was like, that's not the Cerrone that I know.
No.
But I mean, whatever. Like, he's still an exciting fighter. If he likes fighting and he's happy just being in there in the mix, then whatever. Do you know what I mean? And if the UFC decide to drop him eventually, then fair play. Yeah. But for as long as Cerrone just enjoys fighting, why not keep him in there? That's fine. because he's always exciting to fight, and he's always going to draw a bit of a crowd. Oh, Cerrone's fighting this weekend. I'll tune in. Sweet.
Yeah, I think he's maybe Tony and him. I mean, I wouldn't play. They've already fought, so I wouldn't have them fight each other again. But
I'm just wondering if Tony's slipping into that kind of category.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Because Cerrone was never champion, but got very close.
Yeah,
was held with very, very high regard.
Yeah,
and is kind of slipping and is now a gatekeeper somewhere. So
I agree. I agree. I think with Cerrone, he needs to. I would keep him too because, you say, he's a name and he enjoys fighting. And I think he just, because in fairness to him, he fought somebody who I consider an up and comer in that division. He was meant to fight Diego Sanchez before all of that stuff happened with Diego.
Yeah.
I think that is probably the more of the level of who Donald Cerrone should be fighting. You know, and there's nothing wrong with having those fights on there. I think that's it's similar to, I guess, our conversation we had a while back about Anderson Silva, and if Silva wants to keep fighting, you just need to put him against the right level of people to fight.
Agreed.
You know, and it's the same with Donald Cerrone, and it's the same with Tony Ferguson. Somebody who I heard in the conversation afterwards for Tony, I can't remember who I was listening to, but people were talking about was perhaps Nick Diaz for his fight coming back. See how Nick is against somebody like Tony. Like, I don't think that's a terrible fight because Nick hasn't fought in God knows how long.
And it's two names. Sometimes they make fights because it's the right thing to do for the division, and sometimes they just put on a show, and that's a fine thing to do. Like, obviously, when they did the fucking stupid BMF title, like what a load of fucking nonsense that was. But it was just for a show. It wasn't like a legitimate rankings fight. It was just some bullshit to keep the fans
exactly.
happy.
It's just
sometimes that's okay, I think. Yeah,
exactly. Look, part of fighting is obviously the division, and like I hate when we have fights like the worst example of that is what's his face, the wrestler who they brought in, and it was just embarrassing. What was his name?
CM Punk.
That was it. Yeah, that was ridiculous. That should have never been a thing. But having fun,
bless him, man. Let him have a go.
No, like that was a joke.
Go,
that was such a joke. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But then, if you have fun fights, a part of why we watch UFC and stuff is because it is fun to watch, and like I want to see like the more entertaining fights where you have the Tony Ferguson versus the Nick Diaz's. Like, if Nick fucking goes in there and knocks Tony out within a round, Nick's well back in the picture of being a legitimate fighter again. But if he doesn't, and they just have a great fight, then we've had a great fight.
Well, sometimes, quite often, the best fights aren't like the most technical fights. Like, obviously, a great classic is Sanchez and Melendez. Like, it wasn't a technical fight.
No, but
was it good to watch? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, one involving Nick Diaz is him versus Paul Daly. That was fucking all over the place.
That was mental. That was a great fight.
It's insane. Yeah. So completely, man. I completely agree with you. And I obviously I'm not the biggest fan of Tony Ferguson, but seeing anybody's career kind of tail off like that when they got so close is kind of sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. And it's just, I guess, I mean, Joe Rogan was talking about it. I guess you're just seeing the game and time catch up on somebody. And I think it's funny. People have been saying Tony had to clone himself to get somebody to win because Charles Oliveira won.
Right.
Which I find funny. They are different fighters, but it is funny. They have a similar build and stature.
They do look similar.
They do. Oh, that was something I was going to say. That's just come straight back to my head. Why did fucking Charles Oliveira's team all have the same blonde dyed hair? Did you notice that?
I didn't. No, I didn't notice.
Mate, they all have the exact same dyed blonde hair, and I don't know whether it's something they did.
They're a team, part of the uniform.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I was just like, why have they all got that? Like, it was such a random thing. But yeah, no, great card. Really enjoyed it. Really good. And I guess, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say we'll glance over the results from one because you didn't watch that, did you?
No, I only saw bits of that one. I only saw bits of it.
So I guess the main one to mention is that obviously there's a new heavyweight champion now, Arjan Bular, who's the first Indian champion.
Oh wow, nice!
Which is pretty cool. He beat Brandon Vera, who a lot of people will remember from the UFC.
Damn,
because Brandon Vera was the one heavyweight champion for a while.
Yeah, Brandon Vera was really good over there too.
He was very successful over there. He's I can't remember what like the traditional Indian wrestling martial art is called. But that's what this guy does.
Nice.
There's some cool videos actually. If you go on ONEFC on their Instagram, it shows some cool videos of him doing that traditional Indian wrestling. It's quite good to see.
Nice.
So a new heavyweight champion at one. And then obviously the other one to mention is the recent Bellator 258,
Yes.
which was on
Yes.
the 7th of May. There was some cool fights on there. Obviously,
Really
Sergio Pettis getting the title from One Archery later. That was awesome.
Definitely.
I'm happy for Pettis. I like it. I like the Pettis brothers.
Yeah, me too.
Anthony's at PFL, isn't he?
He is indeed, yeah.
And
I think did he fight recently? I can't remember. I
he
can't.
did. He lost, didn't he? He lost his first fight
that
at
sounds
PFL,
right. Yeah, that's right.
But, his little brother doing well at Bellator. That's awesome. I was glad to see him. Glad to see him win.
Yeah, no, it is good. And also on that card, obviously, well, he actually did really well. Very close fight in that one. And like, it was quite back and forth. Anybody listening in the UK, you can watch all of these for free on BBC because like they're all on there. Really good fight. And it was very competitive throughout the whole thing. But yeah, no, it's the last round. Pettis really brought it out and did really well to just control the round.
Yeah.
Would totally recommend. I mean, we've spoiled it for you, but go watch it. Like, still go watch it.
And then obviously Rumble on that card with Jose Augusto. That was a wicked fight.
Oh mate, like talking about fights that could have been stopped. Yeah, crazy man. That first round was insane.
That could easily have been stopped. Like when he floored Johnson. Yeah,
more so than I think with Chandler and Oliveira. Like Rumble looked like he was fucking gone.
He did look like he was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, like if the ref had run in there, I would have been like, "That's fair. That's insane." That
was a real Czech Congo Pat Barry.
Yes, 100%. I even referenced that when I was watching it. I was like, "Well, Czech Congo came back out of nowhere."
Dude, that is anyone who hasn't seen, go on YouTube. Pat Barry versus Czech Congo, and oh my god, that is one of the craziest.
Yeah. Oh my god,
you will ever see.
You could have stopped that free.
I wouldn't say anything more about it. Just go and watch it. Like, if there is ever an argument for like, oh, once they knock them down, why do they keep hitting them when they're on the ground? Why doesn't the ref just stop it? Like, go watch that fight, and that will give you some understanding of why they try to let the fights go as long as they can.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So yeah,
Rumble, man.
It was good to see Rumble come back, man. I was happy. I'm glad to see him still in the tournament.
Did you see though? Maybe not. Did you see he got arrested afterwards?
No.
Yes.
What?
He's been arrested. Yeah, for identity theft.
Wait, he
has been arrested. Yeah.
So who does he want to be? Like,
his real name's not Anthony Johnson.
I'm tired of being is someone pretending to be Anthony Johnson?
Yeah.
And is also equally physically gifted?
When I first saw that headline on MMA Fighting, I thought for the last 10 years or something, or however long we've known Anthony Rumble Johnson, is that he wasn't Anthony Rumble Johnson, and this was some dude that had just taken his name. But no,
he's pretending. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense. If Anthony Rumble Johnson was I don't know, pretending to be me, I'd still get arrested because they just assume it was the other way around. I don't get that.
He stole somebody's credit card, from the sounds of it.
No way.
And used their credit card to buy tickets under their name, which in America is identity theft. And he was arrested. I believe he's made bail now and he's fine.
Surely he's making decent money, enough so that he could buy tickets.
I believe. I can only hypothesize because the value of these tickets was $500, right? So what I suspect has happened, and I hope this is what's happened and they can just clear it up and move on. This is perhaps somebody personal to him in his life, maybe a partner or a family member who he's had a disagreement with after this. And then they've gone, well, he took my credit card and he's paying for stuff for that.
Gotcha.
And it's like that.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, man, because it does not seem in character.
It's completely random, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, what? Identity theft? Of all the things to be arrested for as well.
You know what I had a flashback to as you were talking about tickets?
Yeah.
Ticket.
Oh, ticket, yeah. Oh, mate. That's such a random story that I think we'll have to save for another time.
Oh, man. You don't think we can just bolt it out quick? That's such a funny story, man.
So, me and Dustin used to sell tickets for student nights. And we used to do it in student halls, which obviously at universities, there is a large international community.
Door-to-door ticket sales. You don't know who you're going to get. You just go door-to-door.
You just go to door-to-door. And there's a lot of international students who go from abroad, India, China, etc. They come here to study. And whilst I was going around with a friend of ours called Billy, we were going around, and I bumped into this girl who I believe was from China, and I started doing the whole spiel, just selling everything to her, being like, yeah, you know, it's going to be a crazy night, it's going to be great, and we're going to have like drinks. And if
you chatted way more than any other salesman.
Yeah,
you just poured it all out.
I mean, it still works. I'm in sales now, and it still works. But I was chatting all of it, and Billy was just stood there, just nodding along, going, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be."
You were chatting for like 2 minutes straight, unbroken.
Yeah, unbroken, because she didn't say anything, and she just looked like. And I said, "So you just need to buy these tickets?" And she just looked at me, really puzzled, and just went, "Tickets?" And obviously didn't understand a word I had said. Bless her.
Just wasted.
Billy started pissing himself, and I felt so bad because I just had got, like, this poor girl just stood at her front door for 2 to 3 minutes of this random person just talking to her, and I just had to apologise and leave.
She's obviously just like doing her best to learn English, and she knows like hello, goodbye, where is the, you know, my name is, and you're just like blah, 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 blah. And she's like, ticket. Yeah, that made me laugh a lot.
Oh man! And honestly, like, if obviously
she didn't buy a ticket, by the way.
She didn't buy a ticket. She didn't buy a ticket. Would have been a great story if she did. So that would have been. But as you can tell, listeners, I love talking. Hence why we're doing a podcast. And just imagine this level of energy just at this poor girl's door. And yeah, no, it didn't go well.
No. So I suppose back to the event. The last two worth mentioning. Peter Queeley got a cool TKO over Patricky Pitbull, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, crazy, that one. I did not expect that. That was weird though, because he was bleeding out, and he was saying he could carry on fighting. So it was not a, like, he didn't knock him out or anything. It was a doctor stoppage.
Yeah, so, but I mean, but dude, a stoppage is a stoppage. Like,
yeah, it's a worthy win. He cut his head.
People can protest as much as they want, but it's like,
100%.
Finish is a finish.
Finish is a finish. He cut his head open, so yeah.
We can't say, oh, you know, the doctor stopped it, and then say, oh, Sean O'Malley's undefeated. It's like, no, you get stopped. You get stopped. It doesn't matter how. Like, and at the end of the day, like, I love Anderson Silva. Like, you know, he snapped his leg. Chris Weidman snapped his leg. It's like, it's very unfortunate, but you know, unfortunately, you did lose. Like,
yes, no, definitely.
If your body gave up on you, you still lost. If you're running 100 meters and you sprain your ankle, I'm really sorry, but you still lost.
Yeah, definitely.
As unfortunate as it was. And then obviously 100%. There was the Michael Venom Page. I fucking really don't like this guy, man. I really don't like him.
That is hilarious you say that, because we were watching it, and my flatmate Rory, he's into UFC a lot, and he started watching Bellator now it's on BBC. And he was like, Michael Venom Page, having not watched many of his fights, was just like, what a knob. Like,
he's such a knob, man. Like, I wish he was a good guy, because he's so exciting to watch when he fights.
Crazy exciting.
Fuck me, man. Like, he makes it impossible to be a fan.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like,
he literally put a dent in Matey's nose, in Derek Henderson's nose. Christ, that was horrific. I've never seen a nose look like that before.
No, it was real bad.
Where is the middle portion of his nose?
Yeah, there's a picture of him in front of his picture behind them without the break, and it's fucking real. Like, Jesus Christ, he doesn't look like the same person, because his face is just
where it went. Where did that part of his nose go? Like, it's gone. It's gone. He kicked it away.
And honestly, Michael Venom Page, amazing fighter. Like, he's so good at striking.
Obviously, it hits hard. He cracked that geezer's skull, didn't he, with a knee, and then threw a pokeball at him.
I was about to say, but he threw a pokeball at him.
Nose. Yeah,
I just don't think I think one of the things I hate most in, like, UFC, and we've talked about it before, and in MMA generally across the board, but you see it a lot in the UFC now, thanks to people like Conor McGregor. Like, I really hate shit talking to the point where it gets like this. I hate it. And, like, Michael Venom Page, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure he's a really nice guy, and people really like him. But in the ring, when he throws a pokeball at somebody, like when they've had their head caved in, and it's like, well, great. And there's so many videos of him, like, taunting people after he's beaten them. And one of the ones I always think to is, like, he knocked out that Irish fighter who I cannot remember the name of, because he was on a 2-1 fight record or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, great, you've mocked a guy who you should beat. You should beat that guy.
Yeah. I've always been a believer that it's more telling of someone to see how they react when they win than when they lose. Like
I agree.
when you lose, yeah, sure, you could be a sore loser and whatever, whatever. But it's so easy when you lose to be humble and say, because there's no other way. There's nothing else you can do except just say, oh, I lost, well done, mate, whatever. But when you win, that's when it really shows, I think, if you're a dick or not. Like, when you win, you've won. There's no reason to say anything to your opponent other than, well done, mate. You tried your best. Like, thanks for the fight. Because you've already won. You don't need to do anything. So when someone treats their opponent like shit after winning, that's when you lose me as a fan.
Yeah, I
there's
completely
no reason
agree.
to behave like that. Which is another reason, because Conor McGregor loves to say humble in victory or defeat. Not true. Not true at all. He's humble in defeat because there's really no other way to behave. But in victory, he loves to say things like, they had no business being in here with me. They're just not on my level, blah, blah. I'm like, mate, you just won. We all watched it. We'll decide whether or not they're on your level or whether they deserve to be in there with you. That's not for you to say. That's extremely disrespectful whilst your opponent's still there. Yeah,
and he's also not humble in defeat either. Like he after every defeat he's had,
he blames it on things.
Yeah, immediately after every fight.
I was inefficient with my energy.
Yeah, I was inefficient with my energy. So
my foot was a balloon.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we've talked about it so many times, and I guess this is going to become a Conor McGregor hate podcast. But
it is a Conor McGregor. Let's change the name.
Yeah, but he's honestly, when he fucking loses, he's also a fucking knob. When he got beaten by Nate Diaz, it was inefficient. When he got beaten by Khabib, the amount of fucking videos he posted where he was like, oh, look how good I was. You got fucked up. You got choked, mate. That's the end of it. Like Khabib has a fucking seat in Conor McGregor's head, man. He is just there forever because he knows that he's not good enough.
McGregor fans like to say that McGregor won a round. No, Khabib spent one round proving that he could stand and bang with Conor, which he did. That was completely crafted. If Khabib wanted to just take him down and smash him again, he would have done.
100%.
He just was clearly just like, right, let me just quickly demonstrate how I'm not afraid of your striking. I'm just as good as you are. Yeah. And just spent the whole round. They spent the whole round on their feet, and Khabib did very well. McGregor had a whole round to do what he said he was going to do, and he couldn't.
Out,
and then he was like, okay, now let's go to my world again.
Yeah. Honestly, he is... I've never seen him. This whole thing of humble in victory, humble in defeat.
He just says the things. I swear he just tailors quotes that he knows, like fucking Kyle's can put over like a picture on their Instagram.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I can't stand him. I cannot stand him. And Michael Venom Page, he kind of falls in that category as well.
He does.
I get fed up of, as I say, I don't know him as a person. And I don't want to say too much because he does train near me, so not that I've ever seen him. But I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure he's a lovely person. But I do not like how he acts after he beats people. Particularly people that you should be beating. You should beat these people, and mocking them because they've got wobbly legs. Great, cool. You should do that. And the one time you met somebody who had legitimate fucking power, and somebody who I think is one of the best in the world, he got knocked the fuck out.
Satisfying, man. So anyone who hasn't seen Lima knocking out Michael Venom Page, go and watch it. It's so satisfying. Even if you don't know or dislike Michael Venom Page, the 10-second clip where you watch it is enough for you to dislike Michael Venom Page. He's literally dancing back and forward, and he gets knocked out.
He got fucked
up,
mate.
So satisfying.
It's so satisfying. And I don't think he'll be able to beat Douglas Lima. I don't think he can. I don't think he's got that ability. He's clearly very good, but I just think Douglas Lima's fucking amazing. He's so good.
He is very good.
And that's got nothing to do with him being a dickhead in the ring or anything. I just don't think he's got the skills to be able to do it. But doesn't help when you're fucking throwing pokeballs to people who you've cracked their skull in and caved their head in. I don't think that helps.
Isn't it, man? How about give him some respect and go help him? Why don't you go check on him and see if he's okay?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Whatever.
Yeah. And also, whatever. He's a dick. I don't like... And it all just seems very fake. That's why I'm saying he could be a really nice guy, because it feels like this is just a fake character he puts on, because everything he does is almost like a gimmick. The Pokeball was because of Pokemon Go, and then he did that time when he brought in the Infinity Glove because Avengers was out. It just always seems like he's trying to be...
He's trying so hard to stay relevant,
Yeah, and I'm just just be yourself. I don't really want this shit.
I don't like that fake shit.
Yeah, neither do I, man. Neither do I. But it's been a good few weeks of fights that we've caught up on. We've done a good job of like recapping everything. I think, obviously,
if you do say so yourself, we've done a very good job.
I'm gonna. If nobody else is gonna give us props, I'm gonna give it to ourselves. People listening to it can think we're shit, but I think we did good.
That's all that matters.
I do this for me.
Well, we'll have at least 2 lessons every time we put out a new episode.
It's me, and then me listening to it again.
Yeah, me on Spotify and me on Apple Music.
But I think hopefully, I mean, to go back to UFC with last night's fights, I do hope Charles Oliveira keeps hold of it. I love Dustin Poirier, but I do really love Oliveira's story, being from the favelas and like coming up and going for as long as he has. Do you know, I didn't realize, but he's had the most fights in the UFC to get a title shot. He's the person who's 28 fights it's taken him, 28, 29 to get a title shot. And he's done it, and he won. And I kind of am like, I admire that in somebody, yeah. And he's only 31 as well, so he's got plenty of time.
He's got time. Well, I love Oliveira. I love Dustin Poirier. I really like Michael Chandler. There's a few guys at the top, but I really like Justin Gaethje. There's a few guys at the top who I would be happy to see as champions. So it's just an exciting time. Loads of exciting fights.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate.
Yeah, 100%. Cool I completely agree with you. Best division in the UFC, I think.
Yeah,
100%. Awesome.
Right, well, I'm going to go eat my vegan chicken pies.
Yeah, me and Simone are going to go roast a chicken.
Roast that chicken. Are you going to start roasting it now?
Well, no, we've had the potatoes in, and we've already seasoned the chicken, so it'll just go in and roast.
What have you seasoned it with for a roast?
I did a bit of butter, then some peri seasoning.
For a roast chicken?
Yeah, but only a little bit to give it a bit of spice, and then you put some herbs in and stuff like that. So there's a hint of spice in. Are you
still having it with gravy, like a Sunday dinner, gravy? Peri gravy roast chicken.
Mate, don't knock it until you've tried it. It's
okay, yeah, fair enough.
I'll post it with the curry. I'll post it with
just chicken in an envelope, chicken in a bag,
chicken in a bag with some potatoes as well. Yeah, I'll throw
them with all the juice just loose in the bag.
Which one do you want first, the curry or the chicken? I'll send them both.
Put them in the same bag. So just save on postage. Whack them in the same bag.
Wrap them in, save on post, get them in.
I'll just rinse off the chicken when it gets here. Just rinse it under the tap.
Just get under there.
Get all the curry off.
Oh, this tastes great. This is great. This is wet, moist chicken that's weirdly spicy. I didn't like
it. That's how I like them.
Oh, man. I love we've got full circle to the chicken.
Full circle.
Oh,
the pies and the roast chicken.
That's the title of this one, sorted. We're doing post-production again. This is what's happening.
Oh, let's not get into that again.
All right.
Funny. That was half the podcast last time. It was just us chatting about what we're going to name it.
Oh, that was a good one. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that one. We'll review that podcast now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, Ahmed said he'd really, really like to come back on again soon. So we'll have to figure out a good reason to have him back on.
Yeah, we'll figure out a reason other than just having him on. There's got to be a reason. We can't just have him on.
No, we can't just have him on. No.
Oh,
we know all there is to know about Ahmed now. We don't.
Yeah.
No, we'll have him on again soon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. And anyone... To be fair, almost anyone else who fancies coming on. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Yeah,
let's do it.
And any other listeners, just send us an email.
Send us an email. Yeah,
even
we'll have you on.
With the hair trimmers, come on, talk about. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm not going to do an advert for you. You come on our podcast and you tell us why we should be using your product.
Yeah, and if we don't agree, then you can fuck off.
just be us just railing them for a whole hour.
Yeah,
just telling them they're shit.
It's a new form of advertising. It's like advertising but being judged at the same time.
Yeah, it's good. Having to defend your product.
Yeah. If it's shit, you can get off. That's how it works.
Okay. We should have that. We should have that mentality for all of our guests on the podcast moving ahead. If we're just not enjoying the podcast halfway through, we should just say so, and then we'll continue the podcast. I'll just mute them on the halfway through. I'll just say, nah, not enjoying you as a guest. Click mute and then just carry on without them. They can hear us. We can't hear them.
This has been shit. You've been the worst guest we've had. You're on mute.
It was only as I was saying that I realised they had the power to mute. I'm just looking at. Could you mute me if you wanted to? You can mute me.
No,
or not?
I can't.
Yeah,
no,
so
you can mute me then.
I can just mute. Like if I just get bored of what you're saying, I can just
Yeah.
mute you. Or like
Yeah.
if I think you're just saying something and I disagree and I want to say my point, I can just mute you and just say what it is I got to say.
God. Yeah. So just anybody has an opinion you disagree with. Yeah, that's complete.
No, shut up, Ian. See, just like that, I can just press mute. Shut up, Ian. Oh my gosh. Oh, now it won't unmute. Ian, I can't unmute you now. So I guess that's the end of the episode.
There we go. I can unmute myself.
Once I muted you, I couldn't unmute you. Yeah. And I was like, well, goodbye.
See everybody. That's the end of the episode. That's it.
I guess we're finished. As if I can mute you, but I can't. Well, no, it makes sense actually that I can't unmute you because I can mute you for like half an hour and then just bring you back in, and you wouldn't know. You'd just be sitting there doing whatever you're doing.
That's amazing.
Everyone can hear. I was like, okie dokie.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. And I'm Dustin. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Right. Yeah.
Right, in all seriousness though, I've got a chicken to roast.
Yeah,
and then post to you.
Go roast. The old roast and post. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Combat Casuals podcast.
To get involved with the ultimate fighting conversation, email us at combatcasuals@outlook.com.
We can answer your questions in our next podcast.
Or maybe even have you on the show.
Be sure to follow, subscribe, leave us a review, or support us however you can.
Thank you to Me Against the World for our theme music.
Catch you next time.